All right, everybody, episode 96 of the 580 show, and Strongman Corporation Nationals is a wrap. I know a lot of people have listened to us talk about it for quite some time. The weekend is come and gone. I think we got a lot to say, so I think that's what this whole episode is going to be about. I want to start off the episode by just saying, thank you to all the volunteers. First and foremost, the judges, the state chairs, just the people that showed up to volunteer, everyone that made the weekend possible for us competitors. Obviously, you see how much just physical labor goes into it. It feels, I'm sure you guys feel it right now, and anyone that competed feels it, after competing for 2 days, how sore your body is. And we're only there for 2 sessions for 2 daes, and they're there from 2 hours before the first session and 2 or 3 hours after, and then the cleanup and everything. So
for sure.
I mean, just props, if you're a volunteer, thank you. And if you're listening, but and also just any competitors that are listening, congratulations. It was nice meeting a lot of you people, and it was really, really cool. Like, not to sound like a celebrity, because we're not celebrities at all. We're probably about the opposite of celebrities as you can get, but it was really, really cool to have a handful of you guys come up and say, like, I appreciate the podcast. A couple people said they listened on the way. People said, like, I listen every Sunday. That's so awesome. So, it puts it, we do this. This is our 96th week straight of doing this, right? And you honestly, like, I mean, I don't want to speak for you guys, but I forget that people are listening, kind of,
like we finally were in the demographic of people that actually listen to the podcast regularly. Like, obviously we have people locally that listen to our episodes, right? But we're actually with a group of people that want to consume the content and the weekly episodes that we put out. So it's nice to be reminded that there are people out there that actually listen. It's like every single week. It's pretty cool.
It's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing to me, like, to see someone that I've never met in person and be like, hey, I really like listening every week. So
it makes it that much more fun to keep doing too.
That's what I was gonna say. That's a great point, Dante. You're like, holy, like, this isn't just like a couple people from the gym listening. I mean, we obviously see our numbers and we know people listen,
right?
But until you actually see someone's face, and you're like, oh, you're one of those numbers, like, and you just you appreciate it. So I just hope that when people come up and say that they know how genuine I am and thankful I am, like, not even with the podcast, just to meet, like, to say hi, like, what's up, like, it. Frawley, I know you got to meet some people that you never, got to meet in person, and Dante, same with you, like, and especially the people that said, they've tried horsepower, consume the podcast, follow us on Instagram, whatever. Like, I hope I reciprocated that energy, like, and how much I appreciate it, because I really do. So,
and if we didn't reciprocate the energy, it's because we were in the moment, and sorry for that. And we do genuinely appreciate you.
I just
listening and everything. So
I'll cut it there, but I'm so thankful. So thank you guys for listening to this podcast every single week. And now the Nationals over, we're gonna recap it today, and then we're gonna have to find something new to talk about, boys.
Arnold, baby.
Yeah, but so you guys want to? Let's talk about the show overall. Like, just not as competitors. Well, as competitors, but not personal. How it was run, what we thought about the details of Nationals from top to bottom, and then let's go into our individual performances.
All right.
So there's pros and cons. Biggest pro for me this weekend, by far, for just Strongman Corporation, was the live stream. I thought that was really good. I thought that was the biggest improvement they could have made. I think for a free live stream on YouTube, it exceeded my expectations. I'm curious to hear what you guys say about it, but if you guys haven't got to see it and you're just listening, you didn't watch Nationals this weekend, go onto YouTube and just type in Strongman Corporation Nationals, and it's up there to watch and skip around a little bit. And man, Katie and Brian Feely, like
I was just gonna say the video was excellent, but the commentary was also top notch. It was
it's
very good.
just it was the perfect storm of just people that care about the sport stepping up.
Right.
There was no plan for them to commentate. It was day before, like,
Oh
hey,
wow,
it's
I
the
didn't know that. Okay.
commentators. So they were driving there. And for them to step up like that and just be so prepared, and you can just tell in their voices and just how hard they were working. I get it's not a physical job. It's a white collar job being behind the mic, but their level of preparedness, it speaks a lot about how hardworking they are and how much they care. And it showed. And I told them at the banquet last night just how many messages I got about the improvement in the live stream, because
The live
last year
stream
was
was great.
horrible. It was
Yeah.
horrible last year. And you know what was crazy? And I didn't realize this. Last year was a company that did it. And then this year was internal.
Honestly, I couldn't even tell last year that a company did it. I thought they just put like a little pedestal up and
Yeah,
back and
yeah,
forth.
not to name names, but it was, I mean, to do that all in house and to have the little stuff like putting your name up there in your own little box, and there was 4 split screens for each lane, and it said, Jason Frawley, men's super heavyweight,
Right.
That was just, that stuff makes you feel like more of an athlete. When my mom and dad can actually watch at home, I mean, obviously I'm happy about that. They're obviously happy about that. And the best part about it was free.
Right. Just log into YouTube and you can watch it.
Yeah.
So it was just really convenient. I mean, random people could have just caught up in their stream and been like, oh, what is this? And
right.
It's appealing. It's appealing enough for the random person can be like, okay, this looks kind of interesting.
For sure.
So yeah, just, I mean, great job to Brian and Katie and I don't even know who else was involved in it, but great job to everyone that was involved in that. And with the actual running of the events,
warm-ups were way better.
Oh my God. So
way better.
Dante, you competed last year. Frawley, you were there last year.
Yeah.
And not to spoil individual, but you spectated day 2, Frawley.
Right.
So from a spectator standpoint, how would you grade last year versus this year?
It was so much better. Like, I mean, you still gave the athletes the opportunity to come out and like get their hands on the equipment before the event started, but the flow was so much better. Like having the equipment in the back room for competitors to warm up. It just, you could tell like there was no situation where it was like, okay, we don't have time for warm-ups, let's get started.
Yeah.
Like everybody could warm up for every event. Every implement was in the back.
Like a plethora of them. I would just say like if last year was like a C-, I mean, I didn't have expectations last year.
Right.
This year was just, I mean, it was from an athlete's perspective.
Yeah. And the implements in the back too were exactly the same.
Yep.
Like it wasn't, you were using what you had out front, you were using in the back.
There was always, at all times, there was always 4 lanes to warm up in the back room.
Right.
Yes. That's huge. That's huge compared to last year. I think last year at one point, I was in that back room, and I think we had about 20 to 25 people standing around a women's 10-inch Titan log when we had to press a 12-inch Rogue log.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was just night and day warm-ups. I'll say going into the actual logistics of the event, I thought day 1 was maybe a C, as far as maybe even failing, as far as like staying on schedule. We obviously went way over time.
Right.
So it ran way late, it ran long.
Max events take forever.
That's what I was gonna say. We had a max event.
It's just how it is. It's the nature of the beast. But the only thing that I think you can do in that situation is be a little more realistic with time expectation.
Yeah, right.
Because like each wave, each group, lightweight women, middleweight women, or I think it was the 125, 140, 160, and then the 180 open women, and then lightweight 200s, middleweight, and then the 265 super heavyweights. I think each individual group took an hour. And I think there was only an hour slotted for one group for the whole event.
Yeah.
So,
but I'll say day 2 came around, and the volunteers, judges, everyone, they got together and they were on a mission day 2.
Day 2 was pretty good.
It was ahead of schedule. It was
Yep.
faster.
Yep.
Both sessions finished faster than
the itinerary.
advertised. So great job on day 2. And you know, as always, Paul Mauser does a really good job on the mic. I think he does a good job of explaining it like to the crowd, like, you know, like just spectators, explaining how much stuff weighs in between events, kind of keeping it going. But he does a great job with that cadence to keep the flow. I think that's a really unsung job. Like, a job just isn't really, it's kind of taken for granted, but he's really the quarterback of keeping the flow. And you know, if he starts to get bogged down and doesn't stay upbeat, you know, it's like those 20 seconds between events goes to 30, 40, 50. That adds up over the whole day. And it's like, so.
And if I was a spectator and didn't have enough knowledge of the sport already, I would be thankful for some of the commentary he provides, because he really does kind of give you a feel and like gives you commentary. Like, he commented specifically on the sound of the rope during the arm over arm pull. And it's just like those little things, like those are things that you would expect in other sports to hear. And he's giving you like real live commentary of it. I think it's pretty cool. I think he does a great job. I really do.
Yeah. I mean, and like, same, I know I already talked about, but on the live stream, like the Feelies were doing that too. They were doing such a good job explaining.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're like, I remember like the sandbags are like, you know, these girls weigh 140 pounds and their last sandbag weighs 200 pounds. And like Katie would say stuff like, you know, remember these farmers handles, it says 200 pounds, but that's 200 pounds each hand.
Right.
So people watching at home, little stuff like that. So
very cool.
Yeah. Great job to the volunteers, judges. I mean, those were some hard events to judge, especially sandbag over shoulder. So
right.
I mean, and it's so many people.
Dude, we talked about sandbag over shoulder for weeks.
Yeah.
Like, we knew this event was gonna be like, I don't know if you're gonna get this one. I don't know if you're not gonna get this one.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, they made it pretty clear. I'd say overall they did well. There were a few that it's like,
we'll talk about one. We'll talk about one specifically.
But there were a few that were like, I don't know. I don't know if they should have or shouldn't have gotten that rep or whatever. But you know, we knew going in that event was going to be a little iffy. I think in the future I would just make it to shoulder.
Yeah, I would.
I really do.
I don't think they're gonna do sandbags again. I heard that from a pretty high up source last night that there's not gonna be sandbags at next year's nationals. But anything else to add about like the behind the scenes stuff before we get into all the events?
Do you want to talk about the equipment?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the sandbag, we know like the 287 sandbag and the 350 shell is pretty.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing they did to recover it a little bit was crumb rubber, and it was still floppy.
Yeah.
The wet sandbags, those stunk.
Yeah.
I think there was really highs and lows on equipment, right? So sandbags were about as low as you can go as far as having wet. You know, never want to have wet bags.
And not all the bags are wet though. It was only like some of them.
Yeah. I think the majority of the bags were wet because they filled it all with wet sand, but some I think shined a lot. I think some just looked aesthetically more wet, but I don't know. But sandbags were not good.
No, just overall they really weren't.
I love those farmers handles we used.
I liked them.
James
did like them.
James Deffenbaugh, I believe, he makes those farmers, and wow, those were awesome. It was I told him last night, it's like I think he saved a lot of people migraines, because you know what it's like to be at a show where there's repeatedly something loud dropping.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a farmer's, so that would have been each competitor drops it 4 times the farmer's run, right? And then there's 4 people per flight, so that's 16 times 40 flights. Right. That's how many times I would have had to hear the farmer's drop. You know, and it's like, and that's not even counting extra drops.
And to be fair, they weren't 100% quiet.
No, but they were nice.
a lot better.
It helped on that floor too.
Yeah,
It was
and
nice.
they didn't slide because of it.
Now something with I don't know if you really Dante kind of just alluded to it, but I don't know if you really count as equipment, but the floor was obviously that was the number one. I think that was like the number one talking point throughout the weekend.
Oh, no doubt about it.
And it's like
you can't really
it's like
sucks because you can't prepare for it.
Well, like I would have it's crazy because as a promoter, if I was touring that venue, right? I would have thought the floor was good for spectators. Like I would have been excited about the floor. I would have had it in my category as a pro, not a car.
Yeah, right.
Like the floor was beautiful. It was beautiful, and it was in good shape. There was no cracks, just an awesome looking floor. But what happened is, if you didn't get to see it, a lot of slipping and sliding.
Oh yeah,
and they try to stay on top of it. They had a leaf blower. They had dust brooms going in between heats. People were falling. The beautiful thing is everyone had to do with it. Yeah. I feel a lot worse for the women because they didn't go barefoot for it. They didn't know.
Yeah, they didn't get to experiment as much either, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like they just got thrown into it. Guys kind of got to watch the girls go and then be like, okay, what did they do and what was successful and what wasn't successful?
Yeah. The guys' flights got weird, man. It was just barefoot. Yeah,
about the dogs out.
250 guys with bare feet, but
I gotta make sure we don't get an athlete's foot or something after that.
Yeah, but no, it was good. That's how you adapt. I mean, you gotta roll with the punches.
That's right.
And but equipment, man. I
don't want to give away Dante's yet. So.
Yeah, me neither. I got it in my notes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I thought the sandbags were not good, and I thought all the equipment other than that I thought was awesome. Those rogue axles,
weights, the rogue axles, bumpers.
Oh man, we didn't get to talk about those.
Everything, dude, was awesome.
Those rogue wagon wheel bumpers are awesome, and we used calibrated plates.
Yep.
The first time.
Shout out Pork.
Yeah, we used calibrated plates at Nationals, and it was kind of cool, confused a lot of people, myself included, dealing with kilos. But yeah, it was cool. We used calibrated plates, so that was a little bonus.
Yeah.
I think a lot of power lifters would have a stroke seeing calibrated like IPF standard plates being used on farmers carries, but no, it was good. So overall, I thought equipment was great minus the sandbags.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's a good point, Frawley. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I guess overall, as athletes, Allie's not on the pod. She's downstairs watching the Steelers game. I'm like really, really proud of her. She
did great.
I mean, what a weekend for her. It's funny because we were joking. Her biggest goal for the last months training for it was not to come in dead last. That was her only goal, and she kept saying it. And then it was like, oh well, she's like, top 10. And so Allie finished 9th overall.
Wow.
In the out of the biggest women's class too.
Right.
Most women in her class. That's crazy. She missed the Arnold. She missed the Arnold by 2 spots. And it was her second ever strongman competition. So it's like, it's crazy too, because that was her first strongman competition. She had to go somewhere for, because her first one was at our gym.
Right.
And it's different going somewhere. You don't know where the bathrooms are. It sounds silly, but you don't know all the accommodations. Yep. And it's everyone deals with it, obviously. But like doing your only thing to compare it to is at your own gym.
Right.
It's a lot different, and traveling and everything. So I'm so proud of her, and she had some really high moments, you set realistic goals, and obviously it's my wife, so we talk about it and everything. Axel, we were right about where we wanted to be. Maybe could have hit one more rep in the axle press, one more jump. Farmers, I mean,
She
was,
finished it, man. She talked for weeks. She's like, I'm not gonna finish this.
I
I'm
mean,
not gonna finish it."
that was
She
her
finished it.
that was her biggest accomplishment from the weekend out of the
Right.
6 events. I don't know where it came from. It I was really impressed. We've talked about the weights a bazillion times, but I was really impressed with finishing that as a lightweight woman. 200 pounds a hand,
Right.
140-pound girl,
And she's
and 160 feet, and she finished that. I mean,
right. It's
awesome.
awesome.
But trying to think about her other. Oh, she hit a big deadlift PR on the axle.
After 2 farmers.
Yeah, after 2 farmers, she got 3.
Never hit it before. Never hit that weight before.
15-pound PR.
That's so awesome.
And she smoked it. She got great job. So yeah, Allie top 10 in the nation. It's
awesome.
crazy to say this year. So I'm excited. We'll see what she's gonna do next. But
right.
Who wants to
I'll go first because I don't have that much to talk about. So I started the day with that. I did, just so everybody knows, I did the first day, and then day 2 I decided to drop out, and the reason being I had some sort of respiratory infection. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it was. But I really noticed after my farmers that I couldn't breathe. I really noticed I was short of breath during axle. I was very shaky, very weak. And then after the farmers event, I actually questioned whether I even had the gas tank to go for the sandbag and sled drag, which I actually am very glad that I did, because I gave it everything out that I had left. So I hit a PR. It was like 41:50, 41 seconds to finish the 3:10, 3:30, and then sled drag. Went barefoot, did well on that. But ultimately I was done, and I just Nadia and Brian were my judge, and I just said, I'm gonna withdraw. Like, this isn't worth me going through this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I woke up Saturday and felt way worse. And I was just like, I made the right decision, and it sucks. It was really bad timing, and it was something I can't control, but there's gonna be other shows. So
it was I'll let you keep continuing, but it was so disappointing. Obviously, I'm I feel bad for you because you trained so hard and you had such a good training cycle for it.
Right.
And we put all this time and effort in nationals, you pay all this money and go and everything. But like, it was such a crazy whirlwind of emotions because everyone was texting me after your run. Like, my phone was blowing up, 20 messages, my mom saying, go Frawley, he just crushed that, he's gonna win day 2. And then you're standing like with your arm around me and you can't breathe.
No, like, dude, I literally like could
that was when
breathe.
I knew you were done.
Yeah, I came back in the back, and after that sled drag, I took my belt off and I sat down. I was literally like hyperventilating. Like, I could not breathe.
It wasn't like a cold where you're like, let me tough it out. It was like, for people that weren't there, like, it was, you were making some noises and like short on breath that I was concerned.
Yeah, like, I mean, I'm well aware that I'm 350 pounds, and like, I'm well aware that after I do that sandbag and sled drag, I'm gonna be breathing heavy. But I was literally worried that I wasn't gonna catch my breath. Like, it was 20 minutes later that I might have finally returned to normal. So I was just like, you know what, I gotta call it on this one, and I gotta be ready to go again in the future. So it is what it is. It does suck. I'm frustrated by it. I know, had I done what I expected to and realistic expectations, I would have achieved my goal based on scoring. But I'm going to keep that to myself, and I'm going to hang on to it for the future, and it's going to motivate the shit out of me. So I'll be ready to go.
I mean, it's just such an unfortunate thing, and I was telling people it's like sucks. I think day 2 was even a better day for you.
I was better at this day 2 event.
Like, you're a hell of a deadlifter.
Yep.
You know, obviously guys in your class are gonna be freaks, but you're a hell of a deadlifter, and you're
the one that I'm so upset about that I couldn't do was the sandbag over shoulder.
Yeah,
I really wanted to do that run. I wanted that event more than anything, because I genuinely feel like I could have been in top 10 on that event.
I think so too.
So,
and but yeah, dude, shit happens, and
is what it
you
is.
gotta prioritize your health. You know, it's it happens. So, but Dante, do you want to talk about you or do you want me to go?
Yeah, I can go real quick since you had the biggest revelation of the day. So, day one, I thought I did all right. I wish I hit my final axle press, which was like 290 something, but I just didn't have it in me that day. I usually choke on those pressing events as the first event anyways, but that's besides the point. Farmers, I did really well. I kind of feel like I lost a second or two because I slipped on the transition, but I recovered pretty good and got sixth place overall on that. And then came the sandbag carry to sled drag. And so I had to do that twice actually, because the first time I, ran the 287 down, came back at the 300 back, and I went to pick up the sled, like the handle, it just wasn't attached. So
yeah, this thing didn't break.
It didn't break, guys. Everyone says it broke, but it didn't break. It just wasn't attached.
I think maybe like the carabiner, like from the previous guy, if you notice, everyone was slamming him down at the end, myself included. You get excited, like can't really do much about. I don't know, maybe like the carabiner, like like the part that attaches, like maybe like kind of like on contact, like shifted. You know what I mean?
I don't know, because we watched the YouTube video. You could see it dragging with the sled.
Yeah,
and we asked James at the banquet, and he's like, "Yeah, one of the hooks just might have came off or something." But I don't know. I didn't look too much into it. There's nothing I could have done. I could have freaked out or done something. I just kind of like
I just want to say I got to stop Dante. I'm not gonna spoil everything yet, but like I've never been so fired up in lifting in my life than Dante. Like obviously, of course it's Dante. It happens to Dante.
Yeah, go figure.
Right.
400 people did that event.
And it's
399 people. I don't know if there's actually 400, but however many people you guys you get it. But 399 people, it didn't break on.
Right.
And Dante it breaks on or messes up on, the only person. And there are a lot of competitors that may have not responded the way Dante has. Yeah, every athlete's a little bit different when it comes to sports. But like how proud I was of Dante, like to represent 580 like that. Like I'm fired up right now. Like I want to go train now, thinking about it again. But like for him to like that. I think, I mean, it depends. Everyone's has their own opinion, but I thought it was one of the top 3 taxing events. Right. So obviously 2 heavy ass sandbags and a heavy ass sled drag backwards. And keep in mind, we're in our bare feet, like we already mentioned.
And it's a 287 bag and a 350 shell.
Yeah.
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 So like that matters.
So Dante has 10 minutes to go and regroup himself.
Yeah, they were going to maybe do right up to the 231s, and they're like, let's just do it at the 265. So I was like, all right, that seems to be enough time. And you'll never have enough time, but
yeah, he came back into the back room and he was focused. We were all trying to, obviously keep him in the right mindset. He did everything himself. And he just locked in and he had a great, were you top 10 on that event?
I was 12th.
12th. And you had to do it twice.
Yeah.
Second time. And just, you had to
go. What were you thinking?
He had to go alone. He had to go alone.
Dude, like, and the whole place was screaming. Like they found out what happened, and like everybody was like, "Oh, dude, he got a short end of the stick." So everybody's rooting for you. What was going through your head, like in between run 1 and run 2? Like, what were you thinking? Like, all right, I got to go freaking get this.
I was thinking I got to get the bags higher on my chest. On all honesty, I wasn't mother effing or anything. I don't know. I just kind of put my head down. It's like I read my training wrong. I remember during prep, and I actually accidentally did the comp one twice. So I was like, I technically trained for this moment. So it's like, I'm just gonna shut up and do it. I mean, anyone else in the situation would have had to do it. I mean, I didn't mind going by myself. I don't pay attention to too many people around me anyway. So I just appreciate the fact that I was able to do it again after the 265s and not like right away.
Dude, I mean, I agree with Josh, man. I have not felt between Allie's Farmers run, finishing that run, and you doing that run, just like the aggression you had on the sled drag. Oh man, I'm surprised I didn't shed a tear because I was so fired up.
That barely comes out of me too.
I was so fired up.
Yeah, I was I was so fired up. I remember looking at Nick and like I literally was tearing up. I woke up, luckily I didn't do bad on day 2, but I was gonna blame Dante because we were going so tight.
Yeah.
And day 1, my voice, you guys can probably hear it in my voice. I'm sure it's a mix of other stuff, but I was yelling. I've never yelled that loud in my life.
Right.
I've never been that fired up. And like, that was honestly, if you ask me, like from what as a spectator for Nationals, that was my favorite moment of the weekend. And
There's that picture that showcased it perfectly too. I forget the
Yeah.
people who took
Yeah.
it, but
Trust the
you can
process.
see like Allie and my mom, like people in the back just
Yeah.
screaming. It was pretty
it
cool.
was it was so awesome. And just like, I'm just proud of you how you handled it, because like a lot of
Right.
people it could have gone south real quick.
I mean, like
all-
it's no one's fault, really. I mean, it could have been someone's fault, but at the end of the day, who
I mean,
cares?
dude,
It
accidents
happened.
happen.
Yeah.
You go to a powerlifting meet, people misload squat bars. People,
It happens.
it's the nature of the beast, and you drew the short stick, and it's
I
like,
always draw the short stick. I don't care anymore.
yeah, and it's just to bounce back. It's like to represent. I mean, obviously you're representing yourself, but like as a 580 man, and like it was just like I was so proud and just fired up and everything. So Dante did 7 events on this weekend. Everyone else did 6.
No, there was 2 girls that did a
Yeah, the
tiebreaker.
tiebreaker.
Oh yeah,
There
yeah,
was 3 people total.
yeah. That's true.
Did 7 events. Dante was one of them.
Yeah. But do you want to talk about the rest of your?
Yeah, I can do that real quick. Day 2, the deadlift medley. I never did the farmers deadlift. Actually, in training, I just kind of did deadlifts and farmers separate. The most I ever got on the deadlift was 3 reps with the comp weight. So I hit 2 in the competition, which I kind of expected because I didn't really know what to expect after the heavy set of farmers doubles, which I'm okay with because I was expecting to get like 3 to 4, but 2 makes sense just after the fact when I considered all the situations and everything. What really got me going was the Cerberus sandbag over shoulder. I always panic on this one, and especially since that 287 was in a bigger bag than I've ever like threw to my shoulder, I just panicked at the top and just brain farted and just kind of like set it here. And I was like trying to maneuver it around. I just couldn't get it. And I think that's what really set me back a lot more points because I was in 9th place overall before that event. And then arm over arm, I think I did the best I could. So I ended up with 12th or 15th place overall, which I'm not too upset with because it's better than 50%. So I'll take it. I would have liked to get 3 reps on the bag, and that might have bumped me up, maybe top 10 if I was lucky. I don't know. I don't have to do all that math right now, but
Yeah.
for the most part, I'm happy with my performance.
But to watch you, and Frawley I'm sure will probably agree with me here, to watch you from last year
Yes.
to this year. So last year was Dante's first Nationals.
Right.
Came in dead last in his subdivision.
Yeah.
Like that last year they had subdivisions. It was a little more confusing, but yeah, I think you had like 12 guys in your technically your class last year.
Yeah, and I got dead last
out of those 12.
0-2 events.
And like to just make that much improvements
at a lighter weight class.
Yeah, at a lighter.
Like, let's not lose that either. I mean,
yeah,
you went from 265 subclass to a 231. Sure, the loads are lighter, but I mean, you were in the top half this year, correct?
Yeah. There's 33 people and I was 15th.
Yeah, so you're oh man, like I couldn't agree more. You made such an improvement from year to year, and another year's time, I can only imagine where you're going to be.
Yeah, I'm starting to get really comfortable with the cuts and everything. So like every single cut, I've been feeling better, and I just feel good. Like I feel like I'm able to just put on more strength now that I don't have to sit heavy and worry about cutting down weight.
Yes,
you fit as a 231.
Yes,
you found your
home.
I just think come the time for the Arnold, that'll be my best package yet. So
yeah.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. You already got your Arnold invite from the regional.
Yeah, I didn't get the Arnold invite here, which is kind of disappointing because that was my goal. But
right,
I already have it from the regional, so I just gotta shut up and just train.
Yeah,
that's all I can do.
So, yeah, man, that's it. Anything else to add about your performance?
No, like I said, I think I did the best I could, except that sandbag over shoulder. I just went back to my panic mode, and that's it. Everything else, I feel like I gave my all and did my best to deal with the situations, recovered well from small errors, and everything else is out of my hand at this point. Just got to grow and get stronger.
Yeah. Well, it was a good weekend. I thought it was a good weekend for you.
So. Yeah. Yeah, I'm happy with it.
Yeah. Well, boys,
Now on to clap it up, clap
Let's
it up.
go.
I'm a
What
national
does that
champ.
say? Hold that closer.
I think it says it on the back, but I'm national champ.
Let's go.
It doesn't feel real yet. I'm obviously like super excited, trying to answer everyone's congratulations messages and DMs and texts and everything like that. I appreciate everyone reaching out, but yeah, first place overall in the men's lightweight, and I really don't even know what to say. There's a lot of people I can thank, especially you guys, but and just everyone at 580. But I'm so happy to be able to bring a national championship back to the gym, and yeah, just and now excited for the Arnold,
Dude, like the actual perfect storm.
Yeah, it was
right?
You should have seen his face probably at the banquet whenever they're going like third place, and Josh's like, "Oh, this guy actually got third." And they said second place, and they said like Chris or whatever his name was, and Josh was like, "I freaking won."
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like I really did think I got second.
Right.
I just thought there was Chris Surgison got second, and him and I, it was just a battle, and
Back and forth.
we're
Yep.
we're very evenly matched. Like we're both good deadlifters. We both improved our press a lot from last year, and it
Right.
was just like he is so good at farmers. He
Yeah,
finished
he
the
was very
farmers in like
fast.
30 seconds, and
Yeah.
he's just relentless, and he's just pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. So did a lot of other guys in the class, and I was so excited when when I found out I won, and yeah, just immediately went and called my mom and dad, and that was what I did. But it was yeah, it was a really fun weekend. I knew day one, if I was in the top 5, I was going to be within striking distance because it had a press. I got 5th in the press. Top was split a bunch of points though. Think like top, I think I got like 4th in the farmers, and then I got 3rd in the sled drag. So it was like 5th, 4th, 3rd, day 1. And then day 2 came out, won the deadlift. Then I won the sandbag over shoulder. And then I got, I think, 2nd or 3rd on the rope pull. And me and Chris were head to head, but there was just a lot of split times and stuff. So it ended up with points that I ended up winning. And
yeah, I'm looking at these split times now, and they're literally all within like seconds or milliseconds.
It's crazy. And I will say, okay, I'm just gonna say it about event 5. If you watch a live,
let's go. This is what I was waiting for.
I got like they gave me credit for finishing the 5th bag. However, it didn't matter. It was split times, and I won. I was at the 5th bag way before anyone else in the class.
Yes.
I finished the 4. If you go watch, I went back and watched to make sure it didn't change points at all, because I finished the first 4 bags way faster than anyone in my class.
Yeah.
And without a doubt over my shoulder, all 4.
Yeah.
The 5th bag was a really floppy 287. I just suplexed it, and they gave me the rep.
They gave you the rep.
I'm not a baseball player. If they call a strike, call a ball and it's a strike,
take the walk.
They walk.
You take the walk.
So yeah, I'm just so happy that it didn't actually change anything.
Yeah, right.
So,
yeah, there's no asterisk.
Dude,
I watched it. I mean, I was right there. I was right there, and I would tell you if you weren't the first to that 5th bag, I would tell you. But
I was, and it wasn't even like close.
You were.
So, yeah.
No, it wasn't.
So, but yeah, it was just what a great weekend, and it's just it's so surreal. Like it's just like, I mean, that's just like my dream. Like it's like one of my biggest goals to win nationals, and it's like seriously doesn't feel like I did, but yeah, it's still kind of setting in. So next goal is the Arnold. See how we do there, and go from there.
For sure, man.
I was getting spoiled at the banquet last night. I was got one state chair of the year, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that plaque, the frame plaque they gave me.
The transition from Josh's face to like hearing Dion talk about this, and then slowly realizing that it was him and she was talking about. He's like, I'm gonna freaking puke.
Yeah, I was like, oh man, it was the first award they gave in the night, and so yeah, I really appreciate Dion recognizing the hard work that we're putting in such a short time, because it just to see it not go unnoticed is awesome, because our shows are only going to keep getting better, and we have so many people, not just myself. That award as the state chair of the year is really awarded to 580, because what other gym are you going to go to that has for their show that has 36 volunteers? I mean, like,
every one of those volunteers had a hand in that.
Yeah, it's a 580 award.
Yep.
And our shows are going to keep, I mean, Battle to Bridge last year is the worst it's ever going to get. So, and that's real. That's not me. I'm being real. We take it serious, and we put a lot of time and effort into it. And if you sign up with one of our shows, you're going to get your money's worth and then some. So, but yeah, I really appreciate that award. Obviously, the first place in the nation is really, really special to me, and it's going to be something I never forget. It's like, see Andrew Haynes win it last year, and he's the best athlete I've ever seen compete. And Nick Gagnon win it a bunch of years. I mean, the list goes on and on in this class, all the great athletes that have won it. And it just feels so weird. And so thank you to everyone that said it. I don't think I'm going to make a post on Instagram until this podcast is out, because I want people to find out through listening to the pod. But yeah, seriously, thank you. Thank you to obviously my wife helps me a lot. You guys, like all the training partners at 580, the whole crew. It's crazy. We talk about it all the time, but like having a good environment to train in, it's just different.
It matters.
I can't see myself ever, like, even if I move, I can't see myself ever like having this kind of like situation ever again. Yeah, like with you guys all training together, we all come on at the same time, push each other. It just feels different.
We all care about each other, man. That part gets lost sometimes, but we really do. We all care about each other's performances more than we like, sometimes more than our own.
Yeah, and it's like in a prep like this where events, you have all these heavy sandbags, you have to reset a sled 80 feet that's heavy as hell. You really realize how much of a team sport it can be when you're like dead after an arm over arm pull, and then you got like 6 guys that are willing to help you drag a sled back so you don't have to do it, so you can be fresh for your next event, your next run.
For sure.
So yeah, it's there's a bazillion people I can thank, but yeah, Andrew Clayton, my coach. I mean, he has in a year, he's changed me. I've been with him for less than a year, and he's helped me immensely with programming and his coaching and just his attention to detail. So I appreciate that guy a lot, because he cares as a coach. So, but yeah, it was cool to tell my parents too, because they just know how much it means to me, and it's like to finally get rewarded. And Dion paid all the winners too, so that was awesome to get a check.
That's awesome.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, and like I said, now we're on to the Arnold, and I'll say it one more time, thank you to everyone, and it was so cool to meet everyone yesterday and the day before, and get to talk to some of you guys and make new friends. So appreciate everyone. But,
hell yeah.
And then at the end of the banquet, Frawley, we got the Arnold events.
Awesome. Are you going to preview them, or
we'll tell them right now. I'll tell you right now.
Let's go.
So the way the Arnold works is 2 events day 1, 2 events day 2, and then the
finals.
Yeah, I think 4 people make the finals for my class. I don't know about the other classes.
I think it's something like that.
Yeah, it's the finals, and they're not announcing the final day events. One's always a mystery. They will announce the 5th, but not the 6th. But the 5th isn't out yet. But we know the first 2-day events are Viking press, power stairs, farmers carry with deadlifts.
Ooh, like fat back farmers.
Yeah, that's what it was, fat back farmers.
Okay.
And then odd object carry and load. I love them. I like them.
Okay. I'm excited for power stairs. I feel like that's going to be a curveball, and I'm excited that not having to
man, you should be singing your songs of prayer for having fat back farmers. Dude.
Yeah, I mean,
me and Dante were getting a beer when they said Arnold. All right, so the Arnold events, and we
like turn around, we're like, what?
Turn around, holy crap! So Yeah, I'm happy about this. I'm excited to train Viking press. We've had that Viking press there my whole time, and I've never got to use
Yeah.
it once.
I'm just
Right.
like Frawley said, I'm so excited about those Fatback Farmers events that
Yeah,
I
dude.
just don't even want to talk about it. It's just
So, yeah, hopefully we see a lot of you guys in Columbus, because
Oh, yeah.
that'll be awesome. But
yeah, because they added a bunch of classes to the Arnold this year, 200s and 265s or whatever.
That's cool.
yeah, so
It's gonna be a good
yeah,
job.
we're on to the Arnold, and is there anything else really to say about the weekend?
No,
No,
not
just
that weekend.
everyone did good, and appreciate everyone's support. And
Yeah, that great job to everyone that had a hand in it, competing, volunteering, whatever, and we, like Dante said, we appreciate everyone. So, yeah, if you're new here, we have a pre-workout. We have a supplement company. More news coming on that. You know,
Yep.
you can go to 580barbell.com. You can get merch delivered straight to your house. You can get our pre-workout shipped same day. Did sell a couple while we were there too, so that was cool.
Cool. I didn't know that. Cool.
But yeah, make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're gonna have a vlog from Nationals coming out whenever Dante.
yeah, it's a lot of footage. I gotta sort through it all.
But yeah, I guess until next week. Every
Polar
Sunday
Express,
night,
December 10th. Don't forget it.
every Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, we release an episode. So
Yep.
we will see you guys next week, and thank you all for the support.
Peace.